Good morning, children. Today we are about to start our second chapter, Writing and City Life. In these three parts we'll be doing. Today in the first part, we'll be studying something about Mesopotamia and its geography, the significance of urbanism, and the movement of goods into cities. So let us start the chapter. The four early river valley civilizations. During the agricultural revolution between 10,000 and 2000 BC, bands of people began to settle near rivers where they farmed and domesticated the animals. With a surplus of food, the population increased, and civilizations grew within river valleys across Asia and Africa. Examples of early river valley civilizations include the Mesopotamian civilization, Egyptian civilization, Indian civilization or the Indus Valley civilization, and Chinese civilization along the Yellow River. Mesopotamian civilization along the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, Egyptian civilization on Nile River, Indus Valley civilization on the Indus River, and Huanghe Yellow River has the ancient Chinese civilization. First historical civilizations, Mesopotamia. Children, Mesopotamia was situated between Euphrates and the Tigris rivers. This land is now part of the Republic of Iraq. In this map, as you can see the arrow pointing towards Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia was located in the Middle East. Mesopotamia was an ancient region located in the eastern Mediterranean, bounded in the northeast by the Zagros Mountains and in the southeast by the Arabian Plateau, corresponding to today's Iraq mostly, but also parts of modern-day Iran, Syria and Turkey. Mesopotamia is derived from two Greek words, mesos meaning middle and potamas meaning river. Mesopotamia means land between the two rivers Euphrates and the Tigris. Today it is part of Iraq. Mesopotamia was known for its writing, city life, trade, literature, mathematics and astronomy. In the later part of the chapter, we'll be dealing with all these in great detail. In the beginning, the land was called Sumer and Akkad, and the language which was spoken here was Sumerian. Babylonia was the southern region and became important after 2000 BCE. Assyria was the region where Assyrians established their kingdom in the north by about 1100 BCE. The languages spoken in Mesopotamia, first one Sumerian, after that Akkadian, and thirdly Aramaic. The sources from which we can know more about Mesopotamian history are the buildings, statues, ornaments, graves, tools, seals, and written documents. All of these help us a lot in knowing about Mesopotamian society. Mesopotamia and its geography. Iraq is a land of diverse environments. Northeast, like green undulating plains gradually rising to tree-covered mountain ranges with clean streams and wildflowers, with enough rainfall to grow crops. Here, agriculture began between 7000 and 6000 BCE. In the north, there is a stretch of upland called a steppe, where animals herding offers people a better livelihood than agriculture. Sheep and goats produce milk, meat and wool in abundance. In the east, tributaries of the Tigris provides routes of communication to mountains of Iran. The south is a desert, the place where the first cities and writings emerged. Euphrates and Tigris carry loads of silt and deposit it on the flood fields. The small channels of Euphrates and Tigris functioned as irrigation canals. Fish was available in rivers and date palms gave fruit in summer. Have a look at the picture. Mesopotamia, land of mountains, steppe, desert, and lastly irrigated zone of the south. Beautiful, isn't it? The significance of urbanization. Urban centers involved in various economic activities such as food production, trade, manufactures, and services. City people were not self-sufficient. The carver of stone seal requires bronze tools and colored stones. The bronze tool maker needs metals, charcoal, so they depend on the products or services of other people. The division of labor is a mark of urban life. Children, the division of labor is a mark of urban life. Why I have repeated this particular line twice? Reason being, because I want everybody, that is all of you, to understand the importance of division of labor in urban life. The meaning of division of labor is to fulfill our needs with each other's products and services. The division of labor is very much necessary for urban life. The reason is that besides food production, trade, manufactures, and several types of services also play an important role in urban economies. But city people are not self-sufficient. They depend on the products and services of other city or village people. There is a continued interaction between the urban people and the village people. For example, the carver of a stone seal needs bronze tools which he himself cannot make. He does not even know from where to get colored stones for the seals. He is specialized in carving, not trading. The bronze tool maker will definitely go out himself to get the metals, tin and copper. All these functions are performed with each other's helps. That is why the division of labor is a mark of urban life. There must be a social organization in cities. Fuel, metal, various stones, wood, etc. come from many places for city manufacturers. There are deliveries of grain and other food items from the village to the city. Thus, organized trade and storage is needed. In such a system, some people command and those others obey. Urban economies often require the keeping of written records. Now, a question that comes very often to one's mind is that why must there be a social organization in urban economy? There must be a social organization in urban economy because of the given ahead reasons. Metal, fuel, wood, different stones, etc. came from many different places for city manufacturers. So the organized trade and storage were required. Secondly, grain and other food items are delivered from the village to the city. So these things are required to be stored and distributed. Thirdly, except this, it is necessary to maintain coordination among different activities. For example, stone and bronze tools and pots must be available for seal cutters. Fourthly, urban economies generally require the keeping of written records. All these functions are performed through commands and obedience of the command. So there must be a social organization in the urban economy. The answer is as simple as that. Movement of goods into cities. Food resources were abundant in Mesopotamia but lacked stones, wood and metal. So they imported wood, copper, tin, silver, gold, shell, stones from Turkey and Iran. They exported their textiles and food resources. Transport was also important for urban development. The canals and natural channels were routes for goods transport. Euphrates now became a world route.